like I use so I use this for at work, but it's a different GUI interface than this. Why is this looking like this? Is it because it's a studio or something?
This is called as HANA Studio. So this is the place where we create our models, information views, like attribute views, analytical views, and calculation views. So
So how does this get tied to the real S4 HANA, the 1923 series? How does this get tied to it?
huh. So once we create the view here, right? Actually, the Fieri team, they will expose these to the front end. So there will be a separate team for that, the Fieri team. So they will be exposing all our views on the front end.
Okay, I see. I see. Now it makes sense.
Hmm.
Right.
So, so I have created another schema here, right? In this, we are having all the required tables. Let me just open this schema once. Our schema name is ZVAD4. So this is our schema. And here I try to load all our required tables, VBAK, VBAP, all our tables, right?
Mhm.
So we will try to use this schema, ZV84, and our package is here. Courtney is our package name.
Mhm.
So today we will try to discuss calculation views, calculation views. And in the calculation views, we have three different kinds of calculation views. So first one is the calculation view of type dimension, calculation view of type dimension. Second one is calculation view of type cube. And third one is calculation view of type cube with star join.
Mm.
So these are the three different kinds of calculation views we have. So first we will try to discuss the calculation view of type dimension. So whenever we want to create the calculation view of type dimension, um, so the properties are, so default view is projection. Whenever we are using default view is projection. I will show you what does it mean when we are creating it. So default view is projection, and it is used to expose master data. It is used to expose master data. And third point is we cannot create measures using the, we cannot create measures using the dimension views, using the dimension views. So, these are the points of our um, calculation view of type dimension. So let us see how we can create this type of calculation view of type dimension. So let's go to our package, select the package, right click, select new, and select the calculation view. So I will name this as CV for calculation view, and I will name it as dimension, because we are going to create the calculation view of type dimension. And here, data category. So when you select this drop down, we are having two options. One is cube and second one is the dimension. Right now we are interested in creating the calculation view of type dimension. So select the dimension and select the finish button. So this is called as projection. So here we discussed that. See, default view is projection. So that is what this is what they are mentioning, that here we will have the projection. So let's try to take two different tables and let's try to create our um, let's try to create the calculation view of type dimension. So let us try to select the projection here, drop the projection, and and select one more projection here. This is our projection 2. And let's try to add our tables. So for this projection, let me select the plus button and let me add, let's say, KNA1 master table. And let us try to select it from the schema. We are having our schemas. So let us try to select it from our ZVAD4 schema and select the OK button. And in our projection 2, let's try to add our T005T table. So depending on the requirement, we will try to take those tables.
Okay.
And here also, let us try to select it from our ZVAD4 schema. Right.
Okay. Yep.
And then let's try to join these two tables. So let's try to have the join here. So drag and drop the join. And let us try to select the fields. So we want to have our customer number, name of the customer, again, depending on the requirement. Depending on the requirement, what are all the fields they want to have, we can select all those fields, right? Based on the requirement. And in our projection 2, let's try to select language key, and land 1 is the country key, right? And land X is the country name. So you can select whatever the fields you want. You can select all those fields. And then let's try to um, join the output of the projection 1 to the join here. And also the output of the projection 2 to the join. And when you click on the join, so these are the two different fields we have in our output, right? So we can set or add all to output. That means we want to add all these fields to the output. And here we want to have SPRAS and LandX. And then let us try to join these two tables, the fields from the projection. So the common field is the land 1. So let's try to join the land 1 to the land 1 here. And we can also mention the join type, double click on the join type. And because here we are going to land one is the country key, so that is the common field, and land X will have the country key descriptions, long text, right? So that's why we'll try to take the join type as the text join. And whenever we have the text join, we have to join on the language field. SPRAS is the language field. So we have to mention the language column as the SPRAS field name and select the OK button. And let us try to take the output of the join 1 let's try to take the output of the join one and join to the projection. So here you can select all the fields, select the join here, right click, add all to output. All of these we want to add to the output, right? And then in the semantics tab, you can select the main key or the primary key, and you can activate your model here, save and activate, and you can select any you know for any change number you can select for now, and we will be discussing about these later. And it is saved completely, right? Completely completed successfully. And we can also check the data preview, check the data preview, and then here you can go to the raw data. So actually what's happening is I already raised the issue to the server people. So the tables are getting loaded very slowly, the data.
Okay.
So like if you log in and again after 1 hour, if you try to check, then we are able to see the data in the tables. So they told that they will check they will check why it's happening like that, because the data is loading very slowly. That is the only problem. I already raised this issue. So they said they will, they will do something and let me know. But this is how we will create the calculation view of type dimension, right? So so let's discuss our next model, that is the calculation view of type cube. So for the calculation view of type cube, for the calculation view of type cube, for the calculation view of type cube, default view is aggregation. Default view is aggregation. Default view is aggregation. And this is also used to join. It is used to join master data tables, right? So let us see how the calculation view of type cube works. So let's go to our HANA Studio, and let me close this for now. Let's go to our package, right click, select new and select the calculation view. And our calculation view name is CV of type cube, because we are trying to create the calculation view of type cube. Okay, so let me name it as cube 2. It is saying cube CV of underscore cube already, name already, that name exists. So I'm giving it as CV underscore cube 2. And here, here under the data category, we want to select it as the cube type, right? And select the finish button. So for this example, let us try to take the data from tables like sales order related tables like VBAK, VBAP. Let's try to take those tables. So let us select the projection. And this is what is different. in our earlier calculation view of type dimension, here we have projection, right? But now for calculation view of type cube, we are having aggregation here. So select another projection here. So we have projection 1 and projection 2. And then let us try to select the tables. You can also drag and drop the tables if you want. Like for example, here you are having um, the tables like this. So you can simply drag and drop them also if you want. So like that, you can drag and drop onto your projections. And this is our VBAP table. So I have dragged and dropped the sales order related tables. And in our projection 1 VBAK table, you can select all the required fields. Depending on the requirement, you can you can select the required fields. VB type, NETPR, WAERK, sales document currency, sales organization. Depending on the requirement, you can select the fields, right? And then let's try to select some fields from our VBAP table, item details table. So you can have item number, material number, sales document number, and then material group. Again, depending on the requirement, you can select all those fields, right? So you can select all these fields, whatever the fields you want, you can select depending on your requirement. So after selecting, you can let's try to join these two tables. So select the join. So let me take the output from projection 1 and join to our join 1. And let me take the output from projection 2 and join to the joined 1. So here, when you click on the join 1, so these are the data from two different tables. And based on the, we can join these two tables based on the sales order number. So from the projection 1, we would like to have all the fields, add all to output. And in the projection 2, you can have whatever the fields you want, you can have, and you don't have to select. Suppose say here we have already selected VBELN, so you don't have to select VBELN here, right? So you can select them only one time, right? So but when joining, you can use that. You want to join the sales document number to the sales document here, and you can double click on the join type. So the join we would like to have is the inner join here, and the cardinality we can have it as 1:n, because for one sales order number we may have multiple line items. So we can have 1:n cardinality here and select the OK button. So you can go on adding if you want more tables. Like for example, let's say you want to add one more table. So you can have one more projection here, drag and drop the projection. And in this projection, you can have, let us try to take material master table, MARA, drag and drop it here. And let us join the output of these two tables and the Mara table. So let's have one more join here, drag and drop the join. So the output of this join one, you can take the output of this join one to this join two, and the output of projection two. So first let's try to select the fields here. So we would like to have crew material number, Matner, um, no, PStat, maintenance status, material type, material group. So whatever fields you want, basically, okay, whatever fields you want, you can take those fields. And depending on the requirement, you can take those fields. So now let us try to take the output from this projection 3 and then join it to the join 2. And now here, if you check, we are having all these fields. So select the join 1, add all to output. And here also we would like to have year created on date, and then maintenance status, right? Material type, base unit of measure, NETGEW. So you can have all these fields, and we want to join these two based on the material number. So select the material number and join it to the Matner here, right? And in the join two, and sorry, let us mention the join type. So double click on the join type. So it's going to be inner join, and cardinality, you can have it as um, n is to 1 cardinality, and you can select the OK button, right? And then take the output from join 2 and uh, take it to the aggregation here. And in the aggregation, you can select all the fields, add all to output. And in the semantics, you can select the main key or the primary key, and you can activate your view. So here, if you observe, if you have to generate this kind of report using writing an ABAP program, you have to write at least some 100 lines of code. And here, if you, one more thing I want to show you is like here, automatically the measures are being recognized. So NETWR. So that is the, this is the symbol for measures. This yellow square, sorry, triangle, sorry, rectangle, yellow rectangle symbol is for measures. Similarly, net weight, this is also a measure, right? So all the blue, these diamonds are represent attributes, and this yellow rectangle represents measure, right? So that will be done automatically. System will recognize and go ahead and try to activate our model. So it is activated. And let's go to the data preview. So you can go on adding, all these different tables, and it is very easy to create these calculation views here, right? But if you want to create the same report output in using ABAP coding, it will take so much of coding to do. But here we can do it simple, by with all this, with the help of HANA Studio, we can create it very easily, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So are we fine till here?
Yes, yeah.
So let's try to create our third type of view. So let's try to create our third type of view. It is calculation view, CV of type cube with star join. Cube with star join. So here the default node is star join. Default node is star join. So basically it is an extension. It is an extension to cube of type dimension, right? So to cube dimension. So basically here what we'll be doing is like it follows star join concept. It follows star join concept like one fact table and multiple dimension tables. So this is how the calculation view of type star join works. So default node is star join. It is an extension of cube and dimension type. It follows star join concept like one fact table and multiple dimension tables.
Okay.
So let us see how we can create this type of calculation view of type cube with star joins. So let's go to our package, select the package, right click, go to new and select the calculation view. So this is our CV of type star join. Star join 2. So here under the data category, I will select it as cube. And because this is our cube with star join, I will also select this checkbox with star join, right? And select the finish button. So here, if you observe, this is the default node star join, right? So here, when we are trying to create the calculation view of type cube with star join, we can also use other calculation views of type dimensions also here, right? So let's see how we can work with this kind of views. So here, let me go ahead and let me try to select the projections here, drag and drop the projections. And in my projection one, I will take the sales orders header details table VBAK. And for the second projection, I will take the sales order item details table. And let me try to select the fields from two different projections. And if I want to search for some field, I can select this uh, binoculars, and I can give the field name Kunnar. Sold to party is there. So once you start typing here, that you will see that field here, right? So like that you can search for a particular field if you want. Similarly, let me try to select the fields from our item details table. So you can select the different fields. And then here, till now we have taken join, but here in this case, I will take union. So let's see how the union works. So I'm taking the union here, and I will join the output from our projection one to the union. And also I will join the output from our projection two to the union. And here, whenever we are working with unions, so you can select the field and drag and drop it here to the target side, right? So you can drag and drop them to the target side. And then these are the fields from our projection one. So VBLN, I want to join VBLN to VBLN only. So I will drag and drop it onto the VBLN only, right? And all the other fields, I can select all of them, and then I can also drag and drop like this also, right? So this is how we will have the union of two different tables. So we have used the union for our VBAK and VBAP tables. And here in our star join, I can go ahead and I can try to take the here in our star join, we can add other calculation view of type dimensions. So let me drag and drop some calculation view of type dimension here, CV of type dimension. So under the calculation view, we have our CV underscore dimension. So let me drag and drop our CV of type dimension here in our star join. And I also want to add our output from our union one to our star join, right? And now if you click on the star join, so this is our calculation view of type dimension, and these are the union of our two different tables. So let us join these two tables. So the common field between these two tables is nothing but the customer number. Oh, Kunnar. So let us try to join the Kunnar to the Kunnar. So this is how we can join these two. So I will join Kunnar to the Kunnar field. And let me select all these fields for the output. So you can select all the required fields, whatever fields you want, you can select all those fields, right? And then once you go to the semantics, second, let me see what kind of join it is having. Double click on the join. So it has selected referential. We can also have inner join, and the cardinality we can have 1:1 cardinality, and select the OK button. And let's go to the semantics, and let us try to select the main key or the primary key here. And you can also have more than one primary key also if you want, right? So go ahead and try to save and activate our model. And select the change request number. And let's go to the data preview. And you can go to the raw data here. So yeah, the data, like I told you, data, it's taking long time to load the data, but otherwise we would have seen all of these fields from all these different tables,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, and one more point is here you can add, you know, four different calculation view of type dimensions. So in each corner, in all the four corners, you can add one. You can add three more calculation view of type dimensions.